welcome back to another episode of Wild Wheels Productions. We had kind of a delay the last year, kind of a hiatus while I did some other things, and now we're back at it. We're just coming off the Scooter Trash Bike Show that took place up in Prior Lake last weekend, where actually it was the weekend before. Last weekend was a 100-car pileup, the last one, and at the Scooter Trash Show I ran into this guy, Jeremy Pederson of Relic Kustoms, and you just got back from the 100-car pileup. You've been doing a lot of shows lately. I was looking at your website. You got, is it Frankensteiner's Ball coming up this weekend?
Yep, that's my last show for the year.
All right. And this guy is an amazing pinstripe artist, man. If you saw the footage from the Scooter Trash Show, I got some great pictures and some footage of him doing some pinstriping. How did you get into pinstriping and painting in the whole hot rod scene?
Well, my dad got me into the scene, taking me to car shows when I was a kid, and he grew up, he was actually in a Thumpers car club in Austin in the 60s, and he was always into, he had multiple cars, and his baby was a 1940 Ford Coupe, and went into the Navy, and he came back, and that was the only car that was left. His dad had sold all the other cars.
Has he ever forgiven him for that?
I don't know. But that's always the car he always talked about, and kind of got me into it that way.
Okay.
And then, growing up, I was always into motorcycles, and eventually started racing motocross, and really dug the helmets that the top pros had.
Right.
And at the time, it was only like Troy Lee Design was the known name.
Right.
So I was always into that, and then I figured I wanted to try and paint some helmets, so I bought an airbrush and kind of hung around a couple guys I knew that owned body shops, and they gave me some pointers, and eventually decided I need to learn how to pinstripe. So then I taught myself to pinstripe.
Did you do like art classes and stuff in school? Were you always doodling and drawing, or did it come kind of later on in life? Or
I was always into it, always did doodle, but I never actually took an art class until my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And then after that, like all through college, I was taking them at, just the community college, and then one of my art teachers there talked me into going to art class or art school down in Des Moines.
Oh, okay.
So
cool. So what kind of did you go? Do you know this was what you were going to do, or do you think it was going to be more of a graphic art, so you're going to get a job at some company and blah blah, or did you know that you're going to be working on your own? Just
originally I was going to go to school for engineering.
Oh.
And then when things got screwed up with getting into the U, I decided I was going to take another approach, and was really into the art classes at that time. And this teacher taught me, it was a commercial art course that was down in Des Moines, and I went through that 2-year program, and that was geared towards magazine layouts and web design and that stuff. And then I didn't want to stay down there. I had a job working at...
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But I had a job down there while I was going to school, working at a sign shop that we did all race cars, like dirt late model cars, and was really into that. So I ended up coming back here and getting a job at a sign shop, and then I worked at Featherlight Graphics in Grand Meadow for quite a while, doing all the NASCAR haulers, and stuff like that. So.
Okay, cool. So we mentioned pinstriping, but you also paint beyond that. We got a couple samples here of your work. Of course, here's the pinstriping. If you can see it with all the metal flake, that's some crazy metal flake. Now, is this gold leaf on the side then?
Copper leaf.
Copper leaf. Okay, sure, that's pretty cool. But I really like this tank over here. If you want. Yeah, the split tank. Now, did you actually see guys running tanks where the left side doesn't match the right side? Was that the intent, or was it more of a...
The intent with that one was just a display.
Sure.
I wanted to do multiple things with it.
And sure that doesn't fall off. I think it's good.
One of my friends said it the best way. That's conflicting police reports right there.
That's true, I suppose. That makes sense. No, that's some cool work. How did the the heavy metal flake kind of comes and goes as far as I don't know, in style or fad, I don't know what you want to call it, but seems pretty popular right now. And I've always liked the look of it. It seems like it really started with items like the helmets, which is behind you there. That's really cool. Of course, the lace, so I mean, and the scales. I think the flair for, that's all stuff, and then in the hot rods that we see, you really got an eye for that, and I think that really comes from just your upbringing, and that's what I've been tending to notice as I do these shows, is the guys have just, they've been brought up that way. And we were talking earlier about, you're starting to get a little more involved with some of the there's a few schools in Minnesota that have classes and such, or clubs, I guess, that are geared for that. How is your involvement coming with that? What schools are you working with?
Well, actually, I've been working with Kevin Bass, and I'm going to do a demo for his class at Kennedy High School tomorrow.
Okay.
And also, I've worked with Scott Martin, who was a part of the Caledonia Chopper Club.
Okay.
He started that, and now he's actually going to be doing the Crescent Chopper Club.
Okay. And we were talking about this before we started filming. In Caledonia, they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And now he was funding it a lot out of pocket. Now he's going to La Crescent, and the school system there really gets it. Is kind of more understanding of the trades aspect, I guess you could say, of education, and obviously that's something real important to a lot of us, is getting the kids involved. And it may, seeing stuff like this, all of a sudden it becomes not just a mechanical thing, but an artistical point of view also.
Yeah, with like the trades, the kids can actually go on and have a job, plus do something really cool with it.
Right.
And that's the thing both Teach and Scott have been pushing with it. Scott, he only had a couple kids in his class, but there was a couple that didn't know what they wanted to do, and now they actually just graduated this year, and they went on to a welding program in Winona, and they're looking down the road.
Right.
They got excited about the bikes and
Right.
turned in, interested them in a career.
Right.
So.